Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of IK NHL Daily Talk. My name is Jakob, and I'm, of course, joined by my other host, Kyle. Say what's up.
Hey everyone, yeah, welcome back for another episode. And you know what, Jakob? I'll pass the torch right. I'm so bad at speaking. I will pass the torch right back to you, and you can figure it out.
All right, so we have obviously the news topics. We have four, news topics to talk about, followed by obviously NHL schedule, where we will, and I guess Kyle forgot to pull it up, but we will be doing the wheel, even though Kyle forgot to pull that up. Then
Oh,
we'll do the daily face-off starting goalies, followed by obviously, the picks of the day, and then we'll finish it off by, mentioning our Instagram, Spotify, and YouTube for the fans. So with that being said, let's go ahead and get started.
yeah, I'm not gonna lie. After that start, I wanted to restart so bad, but you know what? I think it's funnier this way, so we'll leave it. But we'll start. Oh my gosh, sorry. Do. There we go. So Jakob, I guess you ready to jump in the news?
I'm ready, buddy.
All right, so our first news point of the day is that the Ottawa Senators have signed Kevin Riedler to a 2-year entry-level contract beginning in the 26-27 season, and he will report to the Belleville Senators to finish the season. And he's 21 years old and was a 2022 fifth-round pick and drafted 151st overall by the Ottawa Senators, and he posted a 901 and a 331 goals against average with Penn State University and the NCAA this season. And just to summarize who he is a little bit further, of course, because obviously the Penn State team is out, but he's 21 again. He's 6'6", so he's a pretty large goaltender, and he's 203 pounds. And prior to this season with Penn State, which if I can find his dang stats, he was actually with the University of Nebraska Omaha, where he had a 920 in 8 games. He plays with Sweden's, U20 team, or I guess he was the backup goaltender on that U20 team. And then he played in the Dubuque. Do you know how to say that, Jakob?
Nope, Dubuque, I don't know.
Dubuque Fighting Saints in the 23-24 season in the USHL. So definitely a goaltender who's progressing in the right direction, and we'll see what he can do with Belleville. But yeah, good for Kevin Riedler to earn himself a contract.
Mhm. Definitely good, and I'm ready to move on to the next player, which the next
Well,
player.
we're not moving on to a player yet. We're talking about the clinching scenarios, so you can speak
Right.
about
And the
this.
clinching scenarios is that the Toronto Maple Leafs can get eliminated tonight, and they will be eliminated from playoff contention tonight if they lose in regulation to Anaheim, and if the Islanders get a single point versus Pittsburgh. So we'll be on the lookout for that. And on the other hand, good news for Minnesota fans, as Wild will clinch a playoff spot tonight with the Sharks losing in regulation to St. Louis and Vegas lose to Vancouver in any fashion. So we will see how that goes.
Mm. I don't know, Jakob. Which of these do you think will happen tonight, and which of these do you think won't happen? Or do you think they
I
both
think
happen?
I think the Toronto Maple Leafs happens. I think the Minnesota Wild will have to wait another day.
I was actually gonna say it the other way. I think the Toronto Maple Leafs, after of course, having or I guess not having it go their way, the other game against St. Louis that we spoke about the other day, and they got smoked. And I think they're gonna come back with a vengeance, and they will actually beat the Ducks tonight to avoid elimination. And then I think the Minnesota Wild will also have to wait another day. But that's just my opinion. I think both teams, well, the Leafs will avoid elimination. I think the Wild will not clinch.
All right, we will see how it goes, but yeah.
Of course. But yeah, just to get that out there, that way you guys know the clinching scenarios. And we'll be talking about a lot more of these as it gets closer to playoff time. But yeah, our next signing, Jakob, which you can, I mean, do you want me to? Oh, wait, no, I guess it's my turn.
That is your turn.
Which Matt DiMarcico has signed a 2-year entry level deal with the Colorado Avalanche. And regarding who he is, which obviously will be reporting to the Colorado Eagles in the AHL, but he is 22 years old. He is 6 foot, 181 pounds, and he is a forward. And obviously, he signed to have his contract begin next year, hence why he's been assigned to their AHL team. But with Penn State University this season, which I guess all of the Penn State guys are signing with new teams because obviously they've been eliminated. But he had 42 points, which that equates to 18 goals, 24 assists for 37 games played for the 42 and 37. I don't know. I said that weird, but he's been with Penn State the last few years. He played with the Green Bay Gamblers in the USHL the year prior to obviously coming to Penn State, and I mean, maybe that made him a good gambler. I really don't know, but yeah, obviously this player has some potential, and I don't know if he'll jump into Colorado's lineup. And obviously he signed with a very good team, but yeah, best of luck to you. And I'm gonna be honest, I really don't know what to expect.
Yeah, me neither. And that's why I'm ready to jump to the next thing.
All right, good. Me too.
Which
Which
the next thing sees that the Florida Panthers have signed goalie Tyler Muzalik to a 2-year entry-level contract, which will begin next season. And the 21-year-old was a 2022 sixth-round pick, number 189, to Florida, and he posted a 926 save percentage and 221 goals against average with University of Connecticut or UConn in the NCAA in 2025-2026. And just to go a little bit more into him, obviously, he's a 6'3" goalie, 194 pounds, and yeah,
also got
before this, he's played with obviously this year, with University of Connecticut. He obviously we mentioned it, but last year he had a 914 and a 228, and the 2 years prior he played with University of New Hampshire, where he posted a 874 and an 883. So maybe moving to UConn was a very good thing for him because we see that when he went to University of New Hampshire, he was terrible, but then moved to UConn and immediately made a big impact.
yeah, no, absolutely, and yeah, not a bad goaltender. And with those numbers in the NCAA, he could be something, but I don't know what to expect again. I really don't know any of these players to be honest, because I do not pay attention to it all that much.
Definitely, me neither. I definitely do not pay attention to it.
But I guess Jakob, are you ready to move on to? I guess we'll have to make a wheel, so I'll have to make one real quick. But we can just do that on the episode,
Do, 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 do.
which I don't know. Okay, NHL. Well, I don't know. Spin the wheel here, and then if you can just tell me the teams that are playing today real quick, and I'll make a wheel. Don't you worry, I got it, Jakob. Which
All right, let
sorry,
me.
Ali, Beatrice, Charles, Dia, Eric, Fatima, Gabriel, and Hannah. You guys are getting deleted.
What? I'm just kidding.
All right, so say the
Let's.
teams in order.
So we have for today, Monday, we have the Penguins versus the Islanders.
Wait, this is we're doing. Wait, not for. You want to do for not Monday, but you want to do for the Sunday games yesterday.
Oh, right. Sunday games. We have the Panthers and Rangers.
Panthers, Rangers.
We have the Predators and the Lightning.
If I have a typo, so be it. But we'll still know who they are.
That is true. Then we have the Canadians versus the Hurricanes.
Oh, Canadians, Hurricanes. All right.
Then we have the Bruins and the Blue Jackets.
Bruins, Blue Jacket. Oh, whatever. It's good enough.
And then we have the Blackhawks versus Devils.
All right, hit me with the last two.
And then Stars and Flyers.
Stars, Flyers. And Jakob, I will spin for you first today, which
All right.
we will see what it lands on. But what the wheel has decided is that Jakob, you will be covering the Hurricanes versus the Canadians. So
All
I will
right.
I will delete both of these two teams off of the wheel, and then I will spin and tell me if it works. Obviously, because we have to, we go back and forth all the time, so we'll figure it out. But the game that I will be covering, well, I don't think this one works.
This Panthers. No, that will not work.
Okay, delete, and we'll spin again. There's only one matchup that literally would not work. So the likelihood of me landing on one that won't work is very unlikely. And I will take the Stars versus the Flyers, which I believe that should work.
And I guess according to this, I have to go first. So I will
All right,
take the first game.
all right, we'll go for it,
Sees
Jakob.
the Florida Panthers visiting the New York Rangers, and the New York Rangers get the better of this one 3-1 as the winning goalie was Igor Shesterkin, and the game-winning goal was scored by Connor Sheary.
Nice. And yeah, obviously, I should have made the wheel in advance because I don't know, I just completely forgot. But Not gonna lie, that was kind of fun, and I hope you guys enjoyed seeing us make a wheel. Hopefully.
Definitely, no, definitely. That was very fun.
But moving on to our second matchup of the day, which we saw the Nashville Predators, of course, visit the Tampa Bay Lightning, and the Tampa Bay Lightning on home ice got the better of the Predators 3-2, and obviously Jonas Johansson gets the win for the Lightning after only allowing 2 Predator goals, and Corey Perry would score the game winner, which, man, he's been good for the Lightning, and obviously he is still a good player at age 40.
Game that I actually have to recap fully. Thank God it's only 4 goals, but I will take that. But the Montreal Canadiens go into the Carolina Hurricanes, and despite being outshot 35-18, they managed to pull away and win this one 3-1. And Suzuki gets 3 points. Canadians defeat the Hurricanes for 5th win in a row. And Cole Caulfield scores 46. Dobesh makes 34 saves for Montreal, and Carolina has lost the last 2 of 3. But we'll go over the goal scorers real quick, which it was actually the Hurricanes who opened the scoring in the first period off a Andrei Svechnikov power play slapshot goal. And this was assisted by both Seth Jarvis and Sebastian Aho. And it came 8 minutes and 37 seconds into the first period. But then we go into the second period where this is where all 3 of the Habs goals were scored. And Nick Suzuki would pot the equalizing goal 6 minutes and 18 seconds in off a snapshot, assist by Cole Caulfield and Lane Hudson. Then we stay in the second period, but just 11 minutes after that, Cole Caulfield what would score what would be the game-winning goal for his 46th of the season, assisted by Nick Suzuki and Lane Hudson. So I guess Lane Hudson and Cole Caulfield and Nick Suzuki all contributed to the two goals of Canadians. And then we see Nick Suzuki put another one in on the power play, just 7 seconds left in the second period off a Slavkovsky and Demidov assist to make it 3-1 Montreal. And that would be all the goals for this one. But the 3 stars of the game, which will allow Kyle to get to it. Beautiful, he's there. Jakub Dobeš was the first star with a 971 save percentage and a 1.00 goals against average. And we'll move on to the second star, which it was Nick Suzuki, who obviously with his 3 points was the second star and well deserved. And then the third star was Cole Caulfield, who got a goal and an assist for 2 points. And Nick Suzuki contributed to all 3 goals. So good for him. And yeah, Jakub Dobeš apparently was on fire in this one, and he never let his foot off the gas, and clearly we could see. But the season series was actually a sweep.
You're talking about season series. Okay, I was going to goalies.
The series actually was a sweep. Montreal wins this one
Wow.
3-0, and Montreal wins the first one 7-5 on January 1st. Then March 24th, so like 6 days before this one,
5 days
Montreal
ago.
wins 5-2, and then Montreal goes into Carolina and wins the rematch 3-1 to sweep the Hurricanes. I actually believe we did talk about that. So, but we'll go over the goalies real quick, which we already talked about the Canadian goalies as he was one of the stars. But for the Carolina Hurricanes, it was Frederik Andersen who allowed 3 on 18 and had himself an .833 save percentage. And very good performance by the Montreal Canadiens. And yeah, they need these 2 points to stay afloat in that Eastern Conference race, and they got needed 2 points.
Absolutely. Okay, Jakob, I have a question for you, though, regarding one of the Habs players.
Let's hear it.
Do you think Cole Caulfield will hit 50 goals prior to the end of the season?
I think so, yes.
I think so. And as people have said, he is the best. Prior to this year, he is the best 50 goal scorer this league has seen that has had yet to score 40, which is pretty funny. But
I definitely think we will see him hit 50.
well, we'll see. But I agree. I think that is the clear pick. And yeah, I guess I'll cover this next game now, since obviously Jakob had a beautiful performance in that one. So thank you, Jakob, for your great speaking abilities. But moving on, we have the Boston Bruins, who obviously visit the Columbus Blue Jackets, and the Bruins and Blue Jackets, who are both occupying wildcard spots, I believe, as of when we were speaking about this, makes this a very important game. And the Bruins get the better of the Blue Jackets 4-3, actually, in a shootout, which wait, why am I in the game? I'm not recapping this in full. What am I doing?
Probably because you're recapping the shootout.
Oh, that's why, yes. But obviously your game-winning goaltender for the Bruins was, what's his face? Jeremy Swayman. And for the shootout, obviously, we seen Adam Fantilli go in. He missed. Fraser Minton would score. which that was not the winner because Kirill Marchenko would go in, miss. Mittelstadt would miss on a backhand of his own. Coyle would score on a wrist shot to keep the shootout alive, but Victor Arvidsson with a backhand would bury it and ultimately would seal the shootout. And yeah, there you have it, folks.
Yeah, we'll move on to the next game, which is the Chicago Blackhawks going to New Jersey, and New Jersey would actually get the better of this one, 5-3. And the game-winning goalie was Jake Allen, and the game-winning goal scored by Mr. USA himself, Jack Hughes.
Mr. USA, you say? Well, I mean, you're not wrong, and I'm not gonna lie. Even though that loss definitely hurt at the time, I do think like looking back on it now, Jack Hughes with it like bloody teeth and whatnot, that was a legendary photo.
Not for sure, definitely.
But yes, now we will go into the game that I will fully recap. And I don't know what's up with the Flyers. I guess they want us to speak about them as of late because we spoke about them quite a bit yesterday regarding obviously, no, what's his face? Porter Martone. There you go. But anyways, the Flyers actually get the better of the Dallas Stars in this one, 2-1 in overtime.
Yes,
And
sir.
the Flyers would outshoot the Dallas Stars 30-18, which, to be honest, based off of the shot totals alone, the Flyers obviously played a very good game in this one and definitely deserved the win. And I was honestly shocked when I saw the fact that the shot total and the fact that the Flyers won and everything, and I was like, wow. But Zegras' OT goal helps Flyers edge Stars and close gap in Eastern Conference wildcard race, which that puts them only 2 points back, and of course this puts their streak to 2. But Ford wins it with 1 minute and 33 seconds remaining in overtime for Philadelphia. And Dallas has lost 5 of their last 6, so they've kind of been going cold. And unfortunately for the Penguins, the only win that the Stars have as of late has come against them. But we would see the first goal come just before the halfway point of the game, 12 seconds short of halfway. But it'd be Travis Konechny with his 26th of the season on the power play, scored on a wrist shot, assisted by Matvei Michkov and Rasmus Ristolainen. But moving on to, the Stars' only goal of the night, and this would in fact be his first NHL goal. And Jakob, I actually seen a clip of it, and his name is pronounced Artu Huru.
Artu Huru, even though he has two Y's.
I don't know. Artu Huru. There you go. But I mean, I'm just going based off of how the announcer said his name, and yeah, no. Apparently, he had himself a good, game, and obviously got himself his first NHL goal, which would come short-handed, by the way, and that would come with just over 2 minutes left in the second period. But of course, we would see no goals in the third period, and we would move into overtime, where Trevor Zegras, of course, would score the overtime winner, assisted by Cam York, excuse me, and Samuel Urson got a point too. So, on top of having himself a good goaltending performance, a point, he definitely played well in this one. And yeah, good win by the Flyers. But we'll go over your 3 stars tonight, which actually I don't have to go over the goaltending performances because they're both here. Yay! But we will see your first star be Trevor Zegras, who obviously he recorded the overtime winning goal, and rightfully so. Samuel Urson with a 944 save percentage and a below 1 goals against average. Hence, it's because it's based off of 60 minutes of play, and the game went into overtime and obviously went more than 60 minutes. But then Casey DeSmith would have a 1.89 goals against average and a 933 save percentage, which would still be very good, but not good enough. And your season series, which, if I can find it, yes, I found it, would actually be tied after the Flyers win this one, although the Stars got 3 points in this versus the Flyers 2, so you could debate that they win. But obviously, the first matchup on November 15th would see the Dallas Stars win 5-1 over the Flyers, and then the Flyers obviously would win yesterday, March 29th, 2-1 over Dallas in overtime. And there you have it, folks. Good win by the Flyers, good game by Samuel Urson, and great goal by Trevor Zegras.
And yeah, and now we'll move on to the NHL starting goalies and the NHL schedule from today.
Which, of course, I'm not scrolled to the top because I was taking a look in advance, and I'm just a dummy, man. I don't know what's going on today. But obviously, like we always do, I will say the teams that are playing along with the time that the games are occurring at, and Jakob will go ahead and say our, NHL starting goaltenders. But On that note, our first game at 5 o'clock Mountain Time, 6 p.m. Central Time, and 7 p.m. Eastern Time. We will see the Pittsburgh Penguins, go and visit the New York Islanders, which both of these teams really want those 2 points right now in that playoff race.
We will see Arthur Shilovs versus Ilya Sorokin.
I'm not gonna lie, if there's a must-watch hockey game, that game is gonna have a playoff-like atmosphere to it with how close the standings are in that Eastern Conference. And honestly, that should be a pretty good and entertaining game. But moving on, of course, which the next matchup is at 6:30 p.m. at Mountain Time, 7:30 p.m. Central Time, and we will see the Calgary Flames, who are still in the playoff race, albeit they are way out, but technically they're not out, and they will be playing against the Colorado Avalanche, who, I mean, there's definitely a favorite in this matchup.
And that would be Dustin Wolf versus Scott Wedgwood.
Then we see the St. Louis Blues go visit the San Jose Sharks, and that game will be at 8 o'clock Mountain Time and 9 p.m. Central Time.
And that would be Joel Hofer versus Yaroslav Askarov.
Then, because I'm too lazy to say the time again, and I'll say it for next matchup, we see the Toronto Maple Leafs go and visit the Anaheim Ducks.
And let's refresh it real quick to see if anything has changed since we last talked about this. But no,
Nope.
okay. But it was likely to be Anthony Stolarz versus what is confirmed to be Ville Husso.
And then in our final matchup at 8 o'clock Mountain Time, 9 p.m. Central Time, and that'll be 10 p.m. Eastern Time, we will see the Vancouver Canucks face off against the Vegas Golden Knights.
And that will be Kevin Lankinen against an unconfirmed Aiden Hill. And according to this, I get Panthers, Barkov is officially out for the rest of 2025-2026 NHL season, but it doesn't come as a shock to me. Not even a surprise. But there you have it, folks. There are your goalies for today. And yeah, with that being said, Kyle, you ready to make these picks of the day?
Well, Jakob, I just wanted to summarize this.
Oh,
The
yeah.
Gudas 2 returned in rematch against Maple Leafs, and obviously we know what happened, but yeah, Radko Gudas confirms he will play tonight, and Monday's game between the Ducks and Leafs comes roughly 2.5 weeks after Gudas injured Toronto captain Austin Matthews with a knee-on-knee hit during a 6-4 Leafs win, and yeah, that was pretty rough, but ultimately we will see, and I'm just going to scroll through this, but yeah, he got hurt in the game against the Flames, and he wouldn't play against the Oilers, but I guess he will play tonight, and he said he would, and I guess he will.
Yeah, but all right, let's go ahead and make our picks for today.
All right, wait here, I can pull up the schedule one more time,
Yeah, pull up the schedule so we can see what we have, but obviously I will go first. I'm just waiting for you guys, but my pick for today will be the St. Louis Blues to beat the San Jose Sharks.
All right.
And for my player pick of the day, I will take a Radko Gudas point.
I mean, I thought you were going to say a Radko Gudas fight for half a second, but that would be a given, I think.
Yeah, that would be a given. So I'm just going to take a Radko Gudas point.
All right, and you know what? I think I will take a Golden Knights win over the Canucks. So, Anthony, you're welcome. I'm actually, saying something good about your team for once. And I'm going to take a Morgan Frost point for the Flames.
All right, so there you have it, folks. I said the Blues to beat the Sharks and a Radko Gudas point, and Kyle took the Golden Knights to beat the Canucks and a Morgan Frost point. So with that being said, I have nothing to say. Hey, Kyle, if you have anything to say, say it. Otherwise, let's wrap it up.
Well, I just want to go over here to our Spotify real quick. Obviously, Jakob is recording the episode on Spotify, unless it bugged out for whatever reason and you just didn't notice. But yeah, go give our Spotify a listen. Some days we do exclusive episodes on there for when we don't upload on here. So if you want some exclusive content, go find it there. And then, of course, we also have our Instagram, which, go follow us at iCanNHL Daily Talk. We have some story posts, but if you want to see those beautiful story posts, you have to go find it on our Instagram. Ooh.
Yeah, exactly.
And then, if you did enjoy, which obviously, videos and shorts, if you enjoy our content, please be sure to check out another video. And yeah, that's all I have to say. So You know what, Jakob? You wrap it up this time. I always do it. I mean, you did the intro, but I'm making you do the outro today too.
All right, so thank you to everyone who listened, who watched, who subscribed, who liked, who everything. Go make sure to subscribe, to like if you guys, and if you guys have been to this point of the video, comment the word Dreisaitl so we know you guys are here till the end. But
This sexy man
yeah,
right here. That sexy
I
man.
did. I saw it and I decided I was going to just choose it. But yeah, thank you to everyone, and I hope everyone has a great week. And since today is Monday, happy new week, and hope everyone is gonna have a great day. And we'll see you guys again with another episode tomorrow. Peace out, everyone.
Peace out, y'all.